Welcome back to the channel. So glad to see you. Glad to have you pull up a chair. I just got back from a 3-day carving trip. 3 days of carving with Mr. Roger Steele and Mr. Van Kelly out in Norwood, Missouri. It was a blast, and I spent so much time learning and spending time with other carvers, learning tips and tricks, sharing tips and tricks, and just having a fantastic time carving and making roughouts. And today, what I'd like to do is go over what did I bring with me? What did I put in my tool tote? What did I put in my bags? What did I bring with me on a trip like that to make use of? What things are so important to me that I couldn't leave home without them? Let's take a look at that. Okay, this is a 5-gallon Yeti bucket that I have. I picked the Yeti bucket because you can get these nice side bags on it. Those cost extra, but the way they connect allows the bag to connect on here, not come loose, and I really enjoy that about the Yeti bucket. But you don't have to get one of those if you're looking to do what I'm doing with that tool tote that I got from Wendy Cave. You can get whatever kind of bucket you want to. I just wanted to get something that I knew I'd be using for a very long time and not having to update. I've got stickers on here for the flat channel retriever. I make widgets, Whittling Vibes, Missouri Meerschaum. Shout out to MBSD Pipes, David Young Woodcarving. I got all kinds of things. There's Tony right there. Paul's Pipes, Paul Menard right there. I carve Santa all year long. One of the original wood carvings by Johnny Stickers. So yeah, I got all kinds of stickers on here that I just really enjoy. In the side bags, let's go over those first. What do I got in the side bags? In this one, I have my diamond stones. What I have normally done is taken them everywhere so that if I need to, I can set it up in this rubber block and I can put my stone in there and then take care of a knife that has a chip or something like that while I'm out and about. I also have in this bag a tape measure because I never know when I want to measure something and get it more precise to go from a rough out to a block or whatever I'm doing. So I like having a small tape measure with me. Some folks might just take a ruler. Some folks might not take anything. You take what you want to. But for me, I wanted to have a tape measure in there and I wanted to have my diamond stones. I believe that my diamond stones now may be replaced by something else. I got from a fellow named Tom Heidemann, carverconnection.com, this pocket strop, the strop on the go. He made this and he sent it to me. I saw him when he made it and I thought that is too gimmicky and I'm never going to use it. And I wouldn't buy it myself. He sent it to me when he sent me a knife to test for him. And I cannot believe how much I used it. Thinking that it was gimmicky and that I wouldn't use it was absolutely incorrect. This thing is fantastic. It is acrylic, okay? The thing about having a strop is you want a very flat surface. You want one that's not going to be bubbled up because that can cause problems with your stropping. Acrylic, this acrylic here is completely flat and that allows a good surface when you're stropping. Now it can flex a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll set it on my knee and I'll strop like this right here away from me, flip the blade over, and I can strop like this right here towards me, myself like that, and that allows me to strop. I can also set it on the edge of a table and then strop like that. You can see it's gotten a lot of use. Outside of the strop, on this side I have 1200 grit diamond infused paper. On this side right here I've got 220 grit diamond infused paper, and here I got 500 grit diamond infused paper. Now he sells adhesive sandpaper and diamond infused paper that you can use for these. And the replacement papers is like pretty cheap. It's like 10 or 15 bucks, something like that. And yeah, it's very useful. It's got a measuring thing on here in centimeters, and it's just, I mean, it folds up nicely, and it has earned a spot in my tool tote because while I was at this most recent carving seminar, Hill and Holler in Norwood, Missouri, I fixed 2 other individuals' tools. I fixed a gouge for one fella and a soft V that had a chip in it for another fella. And I fixed them both with this device. I also fixed a gouge and a knife of my own while I was there. So that's 4 tools that were back up and running easily and not having an issue because I had this with me. I didn't use my diamond tools, my diamond stones. Now I may take the diamond stones in the future. I don't know. I think that this may wind up replacing them. It's definitely going to be going in my daily go bag that I take to work with me. But yeah, for when I'm going to seminars, that is definitely going to be keeping its place in my tool bag. What else do I have in these pockets here? I went over this pocket already, so let's go over the rest of this pocket. Right here, I have Band-Aids. These little containers here have Band-Aids that you can just grab a hold of and slide out. And these come from the carving glove guy. Anytime you buy something from the carving glove guy, he sends you one of these little packs of Band-Aids, and they just pop open, and you can put more Band-Aids in there if you want more Band-Aids. And you can take them with you nice and easy. And it's just a fun little carrying case, and it's kind of like, it's better than having a card. I mean, it's a really great idea. So where's your glove? He's got a good website. I like his website, and yeah, fantastic guy. At any rate, let's flip it around. What else do I have in here? Oh, right here. I still have right here. These are the tools I normally take with me in my go bag, which I'm going to go over in another video at some point here. But this is an extra set of dockyard tools, the sculpture set. I've got in one little bag there. And then in here, I've got tools that I normally take with me in my on-the-go kit. And these are just a large V-tool, a U-gouge, and then a small V-tool. And I keep those right in there in this leather bag. This leather bag is actually a leather pipe bag I got from a Paul Menard pipe. And I don't take the pipe anywhere. I only smoke it at the house. And I store it in a pipe rack. But having this bag, this nice leather bag, has been really nice for storing those tools. That keeps those gouges from cutting through the bottom. And it just keeps them secure and keeps them safe. All right, in this pocket, I don't have much. I've just got charging cables, chargers, and I've got a little bag here full of, stropping compound in case I need extra stropping compound for whatever it is that I'm stropping. Now, those chargers here, what am I using those in conjunction with? So let me stop there and go over this light for a minute. This is my light that I use whenever I'm carving at a carving seminar. I want to be able to carve stuff and not have an issue with being able to see anything. This thing just opens up like so, and then you set it on the table. This light is fantastic. It's got a couple settings. You can see 2, 1, and the top one. I keep this light off, just the top one on, and when I set it down on the table, I create a good amount of light right under what I'm doing, and I can easily carve and see exactly what's going on. The nice thing about this light that I really like is that it's got a USB slot right here for charging my phone or charging my MP3 player or whatever it is I'm going to need to charge while I'm out there. And this one works with DeWalt, so I can check and see what my battery status is in the back. But the Ryobi makes one. This is not a DeWalt device. The battery is DeWalt. This device I bought on Amazon, and it's kind of like a DeWalt knockoff that works with DeWalt batteries. But you can buy them for Ryobi. You can buy them for a couple different kinds of manufacturers. I know I see the Ryobi one a lot. I don't see many folks with this DeWalt version, but it works really well. Whatever you do, you probably want to have a light source, because not every seminar, not every place you go to is going to have a really good light source for you. So thinking about that and planning ahead is a really good idea to make sure you have the kind of light that you're going to need while you're working. That's going to make it easy on you, so you don't have to worry about that. That's why those chargers are there. One wall charger, and then one charger I just use for my phone that I plug into that light and just be able to charge my phone, keep my phone charged while I'm doing stuff. And I charge the batteries up for that when I'm back at the hotel room. All right, because I'm a tool guy, I always have a pair of cutters, because I never know when I'm going to need one. And this little hand drill, if I need to drill a hole in something in wood, I can just drill it in by hand. So I got that in there too. I find myself not using that as much. Whenever I'm carving, I find myself consistently needing to take notes. So I got a little notebook here so I can quickly jot something down, and some cards that I can give out if folks want to know how to get a hold of me. All right, let's go over the top bucket. Inside this bucket, inside of this, I've got this other tote here, right inside there, that I bought from Yeti, and it is pretty deep right there. How deep is that? Where's that tape measure at? Let's grab that tape measure. Yes, okay, according to this tape measure, it is about 5 inches deep. So 5 inches deep is pretty deep, and it gives you a lot of depth, right? And the nice thing is my tools are all down there on that tool carousel from Windy Cape. And so I can have this sitting right in there on top of that, and it just falls right into place. So it's about 5 inches deep. So what all do I got in here? Number one, gloves. This is the glove that I've been using most recently. I'm doing a video on gloves right now, so don't worry about the brand. Just think about the fact that I'm using a different glove every week and try to get as much use out of it as I possibly can. So I've got several different pairs of this glove in case I was having an issue, and I had a backup glove in case I really didn't like this glove whatsoever. But this glove turned out to be okay, well enough to use, And we'll see what happens in the video that I do on gloves as to whether or not I think that glove is worth it, or which gloves I do think is worth it. Pencils. I have all kinds of pencils. Normally, I just keep my pencils in this old cigar tube, and I've got several pencils in there that are the ones I usually take with me. But I always wind up picking up pencils too, and I threw a couple extras in here. Roger Stiegel gives out pencils at his woodcarving seminar teachings and whatnot, and I do like his stuff. So I grabbed 2 of those as well when I was there, because he gives them out for free if you take his class, and that was really fun. So I got some pencils. I have got an extra set of glasses and an extra eraser in here because I need reading glasses to see things clearly. So I've got an extra set of glasses and this eraser stuck inside of that case. This is the set of glasses I use most often recently, and I've got those in here as well because they hook around the ears and they don't fall off as easily. So I've been using those more and more, but those are just reading glasses, like 1.5 magnification, because my eyes aren't terrible, but they're not perfect. This is an old school MP3 player. When I'm carving, I get distracted and I talk too much sometimes. And when I really want to get a lot of detail in and just focus on carving, I'll put the earphones in and I'll listen to some music, and I will just focus and get into what it is that I'm doing. And I get in some good progress on whatever I'm carving. So I have that in here just so it helps me focus and helps me dive into something. But normally I want to sit around and I want to talk to folks. I want to learn about things that are going on, learn about folks that are around me, and that's a lot of fun for me. I've got 2 extra erasers in here for erasing stuff on wood. I've got a stick of wood that I use to practice on, or did like just a test knife on. I always have an extra couple sticks of wood. In the top of this, what I also have is other pieces of wood. I'm going to go over those here in a minute because that's not the only wood that I bring here, okay? I've got several rolls of tape. You can see different colors here. This is Kramer, and there's the name right there on the inside of it, right? C-R-A-M-E-R, Kramer finger wrap. There are different versions of this vet wrap stuff. The cheaper stuff, I find it wears off too quickly and it winds up getting really fuzzy on you when you use it. The Kramer wrap doesn't. However, the Kramer wrap can be more expensive. Why do I have different colors? That's because it can get pretty cheap and not be expensive if you buy the color that's not popular. So when you go to it, if you find it, you'll find the black stuff is like $15 a roll, and that's stupid expensive. But the cheaper stuff is like $3, $4, $5 a roll, depending on what color they're having a problem selling recently. So at one point it was the lime green, and then recently it was the teal. I bought 2 rolls when it was the teal. And so yeah, you just you buy it whichever one's the cheapest, whichever the color is the cheapest, and I don't care what color it is. And that winds up being the color that I'm using on my glove. There's the lime green stuff, and I've had this on there for the entire carving seminar. I had these here on there, and you can see they're not that worn out, not crazy enough that I would need to replace them. I've got extra there just in case, and I bring it with me in case I want to have finger wraps for the other fingers for my offhand as well. And you can see I got one of those in there that I use for my off thumb. Right, like so. And I can just squeeze my finger back into it, and there it is. And because it's so easily reusable like that, and it doesn't fuzz up like the cheaper stuff does, you can see it just gets kind of dirty and whatnot from the carving, and that's fine. It doesn't fuzz up though, like crazy, and it doesn't leave stuff on the carving, so I don't mind using it and reusing it, and so I do that often. I do like having a stiff bristle brush, and that's what I keep with me. That one's got my name carved into it. And for some smaller things, I might want to use a dental brush, and I have several copies of those. I don't use them very much, and they came in like a pack of 8. So I gave a couple of them away, and I took extras in case anyone didn't have a brush. I thought I'll just hand one out because I don't need all of these brushes. I'll keep at least one. So I gave a couple out to folks that didn't have a brush. I'm like, here you go, you can have this brush. And so good stiff bristle brushes. I think I bought a pack of 8 for like $10 on Amazon at one time, and I just don't use them so much that I'm going to need that much of a pack. 1 or 2 is great, especially for getting in tight places and eyes. Having that brush where I can just get in there real quick, that's nice and fantastic, and I like that. This one here, this section of the bucket here, is just the knives that I have that I want to take that don't fit into my tool tote. And so I have these leather sheaves I got from the carving glove guy, and I like the sheaves he has on his website, and they are leather though, And any tool that's stored in a leather sheath can start to rust a little bit, or you know, when it's left for too long. So that's something to keep in mind. You'll see if you use a leather sheath rather than a wooden sheath. This is my M. Stein knife. I've got a leather wrap on the handle. I'm using that often. I love it for a rough out knife. These are the two tools I got most recently from Deem and Woodcarving. Was using those on the trip too, put them through their paces to see how they liked them, and I do enjoy them. Another M. Stein knife. This is a Drake, Gill Drake Special. This one is a Lee Ferguson detail knife. This is a Helvey knife, a Helvey rough out knife that I take with me. Why do I take so many knives? Because I don't like sharpening. Sharpening is something I do in my spare time, right? When I'm not carving. I don't like to sharpen. I don't enjoy sharpening. So I take a bunch of knives so that if I have an issue, I just move on. And sometimes for different things, I want a specific knife. And did I take more knives than I need? Absolutely. This is a Wayne Larimore Signature Series flex knife. I do love these Signature Series flex knives. And I like Wayne Larimore's Signature Series because Wayne's got these huge, big handles. Compared to some other folks, they have smaller handles. I like big handles. You know me, I've got big, meaty paws. And that big handle is just really fantastic. And I like this flex knife. So it's a great knife. And I enjoy having it. That's the top bucket for this thing. So what you have seen before is my tool tote. You see it in the background of videos, and you've seen it everywhere. This is the tool tote that you are the tool carousel that you consistently see on my desk. This has got a Lazy Susan in the bottom. I can't show it till you get to the bottom, but I can put my hand on there and you can see it spins quite easily on that Lazy Susan, which is fantastic. I've got all of the knives that I normally use daily on here, where it's easy to get to and easy to get a hold of. When I'm at a carving seminar, I wind up with a lot of tools on the table that I'm using. My V tools all have this mint green in the back. My skews all have white. My soft Vs have black. My number 11s all have purple. And then reds are number 9s, oranges are number 8s. And depending on which size I'm using, there's some down here. I've got different things, different colors, so I can quickly and easily identify what each tool is. I've got knives that I most use here. I've transitioned using a different kind of leather wrap for handles. This is just actual leather, the way that you would do a bow handle wrap. And I really like that wrap, and that's just a different wrap I've tried. So that is the tool tote, but you've seen that before. I did a whole video on this tool tote, so I'm not going to show that too much. I will show this because I geek out about this. This is the super glue that I bought, but I took that super glue sticker I have on the website, the Super Glue Certified Professional, and I put that sticker on there because I'm a goofball. And I really like that sticker. So yeah, I got those on the website, but that's fun. And it makes me chuckle every time I use it or see it. And I did use that super glue twice. One fella needed to glue something that he had carved and cut off a nose. And then I used it too for a piece on an ear that I cut off accidentally. I'll glue that back on. So I use the super glue. So if you're using super glue and you're wondering, is that okay to use super glue? Yes, it is. Don't worry about it. No fuss, no muss. And that is the Yeti bucket and what I have in the Yeti bucket. You can also do this with a cheap 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's. You don't have to get a Yeti bucket. I just happen to get a Yeti bucket. And some folks ask to see what I take with me. This is what I take with me. So as a bonus, I told you I took wood with me, right? I had extra pieces of wood up in the top of my tote that I take with me because I don't want to always carve when I'm at a wood carving seminar. On the rough out, when I'm with the instructor, I want them to show me how to do things. So this right here, so Roger showed me how to do this open mouth grimace, and he showed me how to do it step by step. And when he was done, I went back to my seat and I carved it on this side to the best of my ability, matching what he did, right? And I tried to go a little bit deeper in those grooves. I tried to go deeper in the mouth, just taking what he showed me, because I couldn't before that easily do a mouth like this, but seeing him do it, I was able to do it much more efficiently and easily. And I know kind of how he would go about planning it and setting it up. And so replicating that there while I was able to watch him do it was absolutely fantastic. And that's a learning experience. And that's why you would go to something like this to learn, right? So yeah, those are the sticks of wood that I took with me. I took just blank blocks of wood, 1.5 inches, 6 inches long. That way we could carve on them. You know, it gives you enough to hold on to at the base and enough to carve on at the top. And you can get some stuff done and practice some stuff. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the next carving seminars I go to. I do this a lot because then I can take something home that I'm gonna be able to work on and look at and study while I'm home by myself and not just out and about. All right, and that's all I got for you today, folks. Thank you so much for sticking around the video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, head over to Facebook and Instagram. Give me a like and a follow over there. And thank our Patreon subscribers as well for keeping the lights on around here. Their subscription has enabled me to do so much more than I'd be able to. I have bought a lot of gloves for the video I'm getting ready to do on gloves, and that enables me to spend more money on the stuff I'm going to be doing on the channel. I think I spent like $100 on different types of gloves I'm going to use to do like a glove video where I go over every possible type of glove that I can get my hands on and just show you all the ins and outs of what I'm seeing. So right now I'm using a lot of gloves just like daily. My next set I'm going to use is this No Cry one with these rubber insides on them, and it fits nice, and I like the way the No Cry gloves feel because they don't breathe that well. Or they breathe, I should say, they breathe really well. But my initial problem with the first set of No Cry gloves I got and tried here recently was that they weren't grippy. And then someone said, "Hey, try the set that's got the rubber grip sides on them." And so that's gonna be the next set I try. Yeah, I'm gonna go over a lot in the glove video. It's gonna be an in-depth one. It's gonna take a long time to work on and do, but that is something that I'm working on, and it's made possible by our Patreon subscribers. So thank you so much to them for helping out on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Outside of that, if you guys want to help out the Patreon link is down in the comments and the description down below. So I really appreciate it if you would help out, but you don't have to. Don't feel like you need to. Outside of that, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week.